Close your eyes and imagine a world where the sun blazes relentlessly over a vast, untamed landscape. A world where the air hums with the sounds of strange creatures, and every shadow hides a predator more terrifying than the last. This is not the Australia we know today. This is prehistoric Australia, a land of nightmares, a place where giant reptiles ruled the earth, where marsupial lions stalked their prey, and where even the herbivores were armed to the teeth. Today, we're diving deep into this lost world, exploring the creatures that once roamed this ancient continent, uncovering the secrets of their survival, and unraveling the mysteries of their ultimate demise. Let's start with the land itself. Prehistoric Australia was a place of extremes. It was a land of vast deserts, dense forests, and sprawling grasslands. But it was also a land of constant change. The climate shifted dramatically over thousands of years, from wet and lush to dry and arid. These changes shaped the evolution of Australia's unique fauna, creating a world unlike any other on Earth. Imagine a continent where the rules of nature were rewritten, where the food chain was in constant flux, and where survival meant being faster, stronger, or simply more terrifying than your neighbors. And what a world it was! Prehistoric Australia was home to some of the most bizarre and terrifying creatures to ever walk the planet. From giant monitor lizards to marsupial lions, this was a land where the line between predator and prey was razor thin. But perhaps the most iconic of these creatures were the reptiles, massive, fearsome predators that dominated the landscape. One of the most terrifying of these reptiles was the Quinkana, a land-dwelling crocodilian that prowled the ancient outback. Unlike modern crocodiles, which are largely aquatic, the Quinkana was built for life on land. It had long, powerful legs that allowed it to run at surprising speeds, and its body was streamlined for chasing down prey. But what truly set the Quinkana apart was its teeth. Unlike the conical teeth of modern crocodiles, the Quinkana's teeth were blade-like, serrated, and designed for slicing through flesh. This was a predator that could take down animals much larger than itself, tearing them apart with terrifying efficiency. Imagine a crocodile that could sprint after you on land, its jaws filled with steak knife teeth. This was the Quinkana. The Quinkana wasn't alone in its reign of terror. Sharing the landscape was Megalania, the largest terrestrial lizard to ever exist. Megalania was a true giant, reaching lengths of up to 7 meters, 23 feet, and weighing as much as 2 tons. This was a creature that could rival even the largest dinosaurs in size and ferocity. Megalania's teeth were razor-sharp and recurved, perfect for gripping and tearing apart its prey. But what made Megalania truly terrifying was its potential venom. Like its modern relative, the Komodo dragon, Megalania may have had venomous saliva that caused its prey to go into shock, making it easier to bring down even the largest animals. Picture a lizard the size of a bus, with venomous saliva and a bite that could crush bone. This was Megalania. But the reptiles weren't the only predators in this ancient land. Prehistoric Australia was also home to Thylacoleo, the so-called marsupial lion. Despite its name, Thylacoleo wasn't a true lion. It was a marsupial, more closely related to kangaroos and koalas than to big cats. But don't let that fool you. Thylacoleo was one of the most fearsome predators of its time. It had a powerful bite, capable of crushing bone, and its teeth were uniquely adapted for slicing through flesh. Thylacoleo also had retractable claws, similar to those of a cat, which it used to climb trees and ambush its prey from above. This was a predator that combined the strength of a lion with the agility of a leopard, making it a nightmare for any creature unlucky enough to cross its path. Imagine a koala's cousin that could leap from trees and tear apart its prey with surgical precision. This was Thylacoleo. And then there were the snakes. Prehistoric Australia was home to Wanambi, a giant constrictor that could reach lengths of up to 6 meters, 20 feet. Unlike modern pythons, Wanambi had a more primitive jaw structure, which made it less efficient at swallowing large prey whole. Instead, Wanambi would use its powerful body to constrict its prey, then tear off chunks of flesh with its sharp teeth. This was a snake that didn't just suffocate its prey, it dismembered them. Imagine a python that could crush you to death, and then rip you apart piece by piece. This was Wanambi. But it wasn't just the predators that were terrifying. Even the herbivores of prehistoric Australia were armed to the teeth. Take the Diprotodon, for example. This was the largest marsupial to ever exist, weighing up to 3 tons and standing over 2 meters, 6.5 feet, tall at the shoulder. The Diprotodon looked like a giant wombat, but it was far from docile. It had powerful jaws and sharp teeth, which it used to defend itself against predators. And then there was Genyornis, a giant flightless bird that stood over 2 meters tall and weighed up to 250 kilograms, 550 pounds. Genyornis was a herbivore, but its size and strength made it a formidable opponent for any predator foolish enough to attack it. Imagine a bird taller than a person, with legs built for kicking and a beak that could crush bone. This was Genyornis. But what made prehistoric Australia truly unique was the way these creatures interacted with each other. This was a land where the food chain was constantly in flux, where predators and prey were locked in an endless arms race. The Quinkana and Megalania competed for dominance, while Thylacoleo used its climbing abilities to ambush prey from above. Even the herbivores had to be constantly on guard, using their size and strength to fend off attacks. This was a world where survival meant being faster, stronger, or simply more terrifying than your neighbors. And then there were the humans. The first humans arrived in Australia around 50,000 years ago, and they quickly found themselves in a world unlike anything they had ever seen. This was a land where danger lurked around every corner, where even the plants could kill you. But humans are nothing if not adaptable. They learned to navigate this dangerous landscape, using their intelligence and ingenuity to survive. They hunted the giant marsupials, avoided the deadly reptiles, and even used fire to shape the landscape to their advantage. But humans weren't just survivors. They were also agents of change. The arrival of humans in Australia coincided with the extinction of many of its megafauna. While the exact cause of these extinctions is still debated, there's no doubt that humans played a role. Whether through overhunting, habitat destruction, or the introduction of new diseases, humans had a profound impact on the ecosystems of prehistoric Australia. And so, the age of the megafauna came to an end. The Quinkana, Megalania, Thylacoleo, and Diprotodon all vanished, leaving behind only fossils and legends. But their legacy lives on. These creatures shaped the evolution of Australia's ecosystems, and their disappearance paved the way for the unique flora and fauna we see today. So, what can we learn from the story of prehistoric Australia? It's a reminder of the power of nature, of the incredible diversity of life that once existed on this planet. But it's also a cautionary tale. The extinction of Australia's megafauna shows us how fragile ecosystems can be and how quickly they can be disrupted by human activity. As we face the challenges of climate change and biodiversity loss, the story of prehistoric Australia serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of protecting the natural world. And with that, we've reached the end of our journey through prehistoric Australia. A land of nightmares, yes, but also a land of wonder, a place where giants once roamed and where the rules of nature were rewritten. Thanks for joining me on this adventure, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the wonders of our planet's past.